This is the story of a trophy for the world, a journey, a dream.
The monitor. Hello, viewers out there. You're welcome to Sports Orbit on a beautiful Monday, reaching you from Leadership TV. My name is Afa Acho. Salifu Usman makes a return on this beautiful Monday. Salifu, welcome to Sports Orbit.
Yeah, I'm always available, Alpha. I'm always available.
Yeah, I mean, the show wasn't on Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah, from the weekend,
sure,
and then
absolutely.
Exciting weekends.
Exciting weekend indeed.
If
If you say, yeah, I mean, we'll get into that. You know, for a lot of Africans, history was being made. First time an African country will know what it feels like playing in the semi-final of the World Cup, and this time around, it's no other country but Morocco. I'm sure in the past, a lot of people who had made predictions about the first African country who will eventually get into the semi-final or have any opportunity of winning the tournament would have been Nigeria. But let me not bore you that. Let's welcome Wale Ayeni over there in UK. Wale, thank you for joining us on this wonderful episode of Sports Orbit.
Thank you for having me, Alpha. Good afternoon to you and to Salifu. No one, it was like a milestone achievement for Africa over the weekend, and we are still basking in that euphoria. And we're hoping that the Moroccans can take it to the next level and eventually get to qualify to the finals. And also, let's see what will happen when they play in the finals. Hopefully, Alpha.
I mean, yeah, you know, when you look at, just like we were discussing shortly before we came on air about, you know, the exploits of the Moroccans. This is not, you know, when you even look at the teams they defeated to get to this point, it's not a fluke, it's not luck. This is pure determination. This is hard work. You know that these people came prepared, even though they came to the World Cup with little fanfare. I mean, all eyes were on Senegal coming out from the countries who were going to represent Africa. All eyes were on Senegal. Nobody really gave you know, Morocco any serious chance, especially considering the group they were even paired in the group stages. A very difficult group, if you ask me. And I remember when we had done this preview, we had easily picked up the teams that we had thought that would likely make it easy from that group. But from nowhere, Morocco, first of all, made top that group. Second time an African country will top a group after Nigeria in 1994. Top that group, gradually went to the round of 16. Another tough matchup. We thought, well, this will be the end of the road for Morocco. They scaled that feat. Going to the quarterfinal, another tough encounter, scaled it, and here Morocco are in the semi-final of the 2022 World Cup in Qatar.
Yeah, Alpha, thank you very much. Just like you say, Morocco is a surprise package, and if you ask me, and just like you say, nobody see what Morocco have achieved so far. I just as a sheer luck again.
Yeah.
Is prepared determinations that they plan towards it. But just like you say, if anybody have ever think that of the first Africa team that will play in the semi-final of the World Cup, nobody will ever think near Morocco.
Exactly.
Nobody will never think near Morocco, because if you even look within the Africa context, within the Africa football, Morocco has never been considered as a top ranking football team within Africa. It's a team that have never only managed to play in the final of African Cup of Nations. They have never won Africa Cup of Nations. Yeah. If you look at in terms of everything, nobody will ever think of Morocco. If you are thinking of, okay, I'm going to this World Cup, the 5 Africa teams that qualify to go to the World Cup, if you are like, asking you, whose team do you think will get to the next one? Yeah. All eyes were on Senegal. Exactly. That's why the unexpected happened to Mali. People were still, well, we can still keeping our hope on Senegal. Yeah. Nobody ever thought of Morocco. But like surprisingly, but what Morocco has achieved so far, what they have achieved, should not be surprised to anybody. Yeah. It's a steady program that they have been developed over the years, but nobody sees it coming. But they keep on working silently, and now here the result is here. Everybody is in, and everybody are ready to reap the fruit of their labor. And And the way they have succeeded so far, where they are now, it's already 50-50 chance.
Yeah.
Morocco has what is taken out to win this World Cup.
Nobody
should argue that one.
I mean, when you get to the last four of any competition, then I mean, you
nobody
have a chance
should argue that one,
team.
because if you look at the 100 the Morocco have passed through, beating the like of Belgium, the second ranked team in the world, who have the best of the best players in the world in the team. They beat Morocco 2-0, they beat Belgium 2-0. And just like saying, when we are previewing the group, we usually tip Belgium to top that group, followed by Croatia. We will never give Morocco a chance, we never give Canada a chance to get out of that group. But Morocco, here we are. Then the second round happened to come to face to face with Spain. Former champion, a team that is dominated by youth exuberant, is a youthful team. Then we're going to have that this definitely beat their last Boston, but they skated 100 coming against Cristiano Ronaldo, Portugal. Here again, even after Portugal put 6 behind Switzerland, we now hope that there's no how Morocco, no matter their defensive organizations that have sustained them this competition so far, they can't withstand the fiery power of the Portuguese. But then everything the Portuguese throw at them, every missile, every throw, every attack, they curtail them and they hold it on. Then to ensure that they don't just send Portugal back. They send Cristiano Ronaldo out of the World Cup with a tear.
Exactly.
And now here they are. If they couldn't pass, if they can't pass France, nobody will score them low. They have to go beyond expectation. They have achieved beyond expectation. But the way it is 50-50.
Yeah. I mean, Wale Salifu just said it rightly. I mean, for me, even getting to this point for the Moroccans, whatever happens at this point, they've, superseded. What else can you say? They've gone far beyond even the projections I'm sure the team made for themselves while coming into this competition. I'm sure they must have thought, let's just go there, try to make it to the second round, or just put up, give a good account of ourselves. But here they are in the semi-final. At this point, whatever happens, Moroccans have achieved a lot for themselves and for Africa.
Of course, no doubt about it, Alpha. The achievement of Morocco in this ongoing World Cup cannot be overemphasized, because if you really, check that team very, very well, they are yet to conceive a goal. Even the goal that they actually conceived was a own goal in this current World Cup so far. No team has yet to score them, even from the penalty kicks. It was just, the penalty kicks that they actually played. Even against Spain, Spain didn't actually score a penalty, just a home goal. They actually conceive in this ongoing World Cup. So it shows how that defensive, side is being made up. They're very, very good when it comes to the defense. Midfield also, they are very, very solid. I think what is really working for them at this point in time is that they have this way of playing. They play the same pattern the way Croatia play. They get to, ensure that the opponent don't score. They get to, well down the opponent and, give the opponent a counter attack. And that will actually be the end of the opponent. I think that has been working for them, and I feel they should actually, stick to it. And if you look at the Moroccan team, they don't really have, star-studded players. They just have a team. It's just the likes of Hakim Ziyech that plays for Chelsea and the other Hakim that plays for PSG. Those are the two players you can actually, count to be, star player in the Morocco team. But looking at the rest player, very useful side. They are hungry to play for each other. They're playing as a team. And this is what the World Cup is being known for. It's not about having, big stars in your team. It's how you're able to, bring players together and play as a team, and each players work for each player. And that has been, the driving force for Morocco at this point. Against France, I know it's going to be difficult, but no doubt about it. They don't have non-star. I think that will work in their favor. We might just be surprised that Morocco can actually make it to the finals and eventually win the final. At this point, I know it's an early prediction, but I'm still predicting Morocco versus Croatia in the finals of the 2022 World Cup Alpha.
I mean, looking at the Moroccan teams, here we have a couple of 6 things we've outlined that, have propelled them this far. We have team spirit driven by history, defenses win championships, and which is very, very important. Like Wale rightly observed, They've considered one goal, and that goal was even scored by them, an own goal. And a famous coach, that's the person of Jose Mourinho, was the one who once said that. He said, "The one win you championship, a good attack can win you matches, but what wins you titles is a solid defense." And truly, Morocco has shown that, with their defense, the solidity of their defense has taken them far. Especially apart from that back line, the goalkeeper, outstanding performer. In fact, in last season in the La Liga, he was voted best keeper of the La Liga. Coming to this competition already, so far the way it is, kept how many clean sheets? So far he's the best in top contender for the Golden Globes already. This Moroccan defense, I mean, the game against Portugal, at a point with the kind of pressure Portugal mounted on them, I felt at a point they were simply going to cave in. But after attack, wave after attack, after wave after attack, everything was repelled and it ended that way.
Yeah, I just like to say, if you are going for a competition, there are some specific things that you need to go for. You first and foremost have a team spirit.
Yeah.
You need to know that you are a team divided against themselves can never function. But when you are united, have work as a collective team. You as a group, your deficiency. I know my deficiency. You know your strength. You know my strength. So you bring everybody together. When what you don't get, this one get. You complement each other, and that is what you see that is working perfectly for Morocco. And Morocco, one thing that people have to notice in this World Cup, Morocco have redefined football. Everybody need to know about it now. You have redefined football. If you are a fan of football, if you are an analyst of football, there are some things you need to. Morocco have altered it. You have to begin to think about. Because if you are watching the football, as a fans of football, as a fans, your team is playing and your team is enjoy possession. You always say, well, it's just a question of time. We are going to score. But Morocco have cancelled that analogy. That even though you can enjoy the possession, you are not going to win. Because you're looking at the game against Spain. For entire the duration of the match, Spain were enjoying 75%, 80%. It was almost 78. Morocco just have a percentage of 22%. But they hold on until they get them play extra time, get to the knockout, the penalty. They send Spain packing. Against the Portugal were enjoying almost 77%. Morocco was just having 23% of the possession. But yet, they hold on, scored the goal they needed to score, tied their defense back, and then everything Morocco brought, Portugal brought into the game, threw everything they have, attacking upon attack. But they repel everything just like say, and then we ensure that they send them packing. So by that, Morocco has succeeded in defining football that no, don't consider or say that as far as we are enjoying possession, we are going to win. It's no longer that analogy, that statistic is no longer for. It's no longer work. Morocco have displayed that one. And then another thing that you look at is that Morocco is a team that they are compact defense. Do you want him if you know, I don't know if you know, a lot of people notice. A team, just like Wale said earlier, is a team that is playing without any star player in the team. And if you look at that, the match they scored against the Portugal, two of their regular star defenders missed that penalty. They were not there. But yet, there is no any sign of somebody is missing from that team. That tell you, say, their collective spirit team work together. And at the same time, if you talk about the history, driven by the history, if you look at there is a team that they don't sit down, analyze and look at, okay, what Africa have never got to this far. But the other Africans who have attempted to come to where we are, what was their mistake? They get carried away. But Morocco calmed themselves down, show determination, and never get carried away, and they still succeed and hold on. They will not feel that we are excited that we are already here.
Exactly.
They are ready to make more history. And now they have France to continue. As where they are now, the more to some extent you say France is under pressure. To some extent you say France is not only under pressure. So they are just they are defending champion. But France has more to worry than Morocco. For instance, a Moroccan team, and another thing we have to give to the Moroccan coach who have succeeded in forming a defensive line, a defensive tactic that no any other coach in the team has been able to today. And a whole lot of teams have watched their review, watched their videos, and yet they are failed to neutralize that defense. It clearly shows that there's something special about that Moroccan coach. And at the same time, there's something he has also been able to justify that Africa, if we believe in ourselves, we can go far. This
Very
is a
well.
local coach. And there's always an African coach cannot get it. But here we have African coach.
Got into
Now,
semi-final of the World
now
Cup.
there just remain 4 coaches in the team in the in the World Cup. Out of 32 coaches that came there, it just remain 4 coaches. And here you are. If you even finish fourth, it's a big
No, I
achievement.
mean,
But
like
and
I
from the way
said,
it is, I will not be surprised if I see just like if I see Croatia Morocco final. I will not be surprised. But and it look like it's going to because these two teams are playing the same pattern. They start the competition together, play themselves draw. And since then, none of them has tested defeat.
Yeah, I mean,
None of them have tested defeat. And the Morocco team, surprise team about the Morocco team that while France has most to worry, it's a team that has come to this World Cup that nobody has scored a goal, even a penalty. You can't even score that penalty. They went to a penalty kick against Spain. Spain cannot even score one. So France has more to worry.
Very well. Anyway, we will go on a quick break, and when we come back, I will give you a complete review of all the quarterfinal matches as they went down during the weekend. Don't go nowhere.
This is the story of a trophy for the world. A journey. A dream.
Sports Orbit. We make the world go round.
Right, welcome back from that break. You're still onto Sports Orbit. Yeah, like I said before, when on that break, a couple of course, all the quarterfinal matches went down during the weekend from Friday and Saturday. First match of the day was Brazil Croatia. Brazil tipped heavily to win this World Cup for the sixth time, but it was not to be. After 120 minutes of football, it was Croatia who actually took the victory away. You know, a brilliant Neymar goal towards the 9 minutes of extra time. Had thought the Brazilians had, won this one, but somehow, like some analysts said, thought the Brazilians were being arrogant because when you have a lead like that at that crucial time, you're supposed to defend your goal. But the Brazilians thought, well, it's time to go for an all-out attack and probably embarrass the Croatians. But the Croatians held their nerve and hit one back, went to penalties and scored 4 penalties while Brazilians and couldn't convert all of their penalties. Wale, looking at that game, I mean, for some of us who are Brazilians when Nigeria is not in the World Cup, it was actually a painful defeat for me, I must confess.
Alpha, if you could remember, I told you on that day, on the day, I think it was the day of the game. I told you if the game was going to go into penalties, Croatia would definitely win, due to the fact that they have a good goalkeeper, no doubt about it. Alisson is a very, very good goalkeeper, no doubt. But you can't compare, the performance of the Croatian keeper in his ongoing campaign. I've seen how he actually, saved, the Croatian in the round of 16 to the quarterfinals and also doing it in the quarterfinals. I feel, Croatia, they have the most experienced midfield in the ongoing, World
Yeah,
Cup at this point in time. So it's actually working for them. And they're keeping all the ball that they're winning all the, all the balls in the midfield, and that has, been working for them. They don't really play a fancy kind of football. They allow you to hold possession of the ball, get to where you are, then hit you on the counter attack. I think that has been working for them. I certainly knew when Brazil scored that, when Neymar scored that, with that Croatia would definitely bounce back in that particular game, and which they did. It was just so so sad for Brazil at this point in time, despite the fact that all their legends were in the stadium, and Croatia just have to go all the way and shock them. So it's still going to be a very, very interesting World Cup, no doubt about it. The Brazilians will go to the drawing board. They have won the competition for 5 times. Let them allow the likes of Croatia, who has not won the competition before, to win. Let's get to see a new winner of the World Cup, and that is what I'm hoping to see. I know it has been a very, very interesting one, an interesting quarterfinal for Croatia and Brazil. Brazil should just go home, link their wounds, and see how they're able to plan for the next edition of the World Cup coming up in 2026. No doubt about it, Neymar will still be much around to play in that particular competition. But the likes of Thiago Silva, I think this competition might just be the end for him for in the Brazilian national team. Then looking at the rest, game Argentina against Netherlands. It was a very, very, interesting, clash. The last 10 minutes was very, very dramatic one. We saw, Netherlands coming back from the dead to actually draw that particular game 2-2 before it went to penalty shootout. We also the hacky packing in the game, how the Argentines and the Netherlands, how they were actually why the referee also was in the mix of everything. At the end of the game, you saw how the interview between Martinez and the press. I feel he didn't actually go down well with so many people. So the same interview with Messi, how they were actually calling the referee some unprinted names in that particular game. But overall, it was a very, very interesting quarter final between Argentina and Netherlands.
Yeah, I mean, Salifu looking at Argentina, Netherlands, and looking at Argentine team. Yeah, in as much as the likes of Croatia, Morocco are still there. And one thing, a part of me is leaning towards Argentina. Somehow the way Argentina have played, not like they've been too fantastic, but somehow they've showed some certain character, some resilience, and it looks like, I mean, Messi knowing that, look, this is the only thing I'm missing in world football, and he has been able to drive his team. I mean, the way Messi has played in this World Cup so far, he's been unbelievable. In the game against Argentina, was very instrumental in the goal scored, and Messi have really driven this team at his age. He has taken the bull by the horns to ensure that Argentina go all the way, and now they are in the final four. Don't you think that extra something, just because he feels this is our time to win it, after going so close in Brazil, not winning it, of course, after trying so many times, eventually won something with Argentina in the Copa America. Now they're in the semi-final of the World Cup. This is a team not to overlook.
Yeah, no, you can never definitely try to overlook a team with Messi.
Yeah.
A team that has the like of Messi.
Exactly.
Even though there's any other player like that, as far as Messi is, you can never underrate such a team.
Yeah.
And if you look at the four finalists, the four semi-finalists now, if you have to put on the paper, you definitely put your money to see France and Argentina in the final.
Yeah.
But just like we were saying, but this World Cup have defined something different that you can't just keep your mind with the biggest with the big team. And if you're looking at Messi, just like Wale said, I look at the quarterfinal match against Netherlands. Fantastic match. I want to some extent I begin to feel it looked like Messi is going out from this competition because they were doing this until the last minute. Almost on the last minute, they never get their last goal, the second goal. At 90 minutes of the extra time, 9 minutes of the extra time, when the match was just above the final, which to be blue, when they cancel, they have that goal. And I said, wow, this may be that maybe Messi would like me. But going to the extra time, both of them could not find the back of the head on, and then get to the penalty. Messi stood there. That is one thing that differentiates a leader. Yeah. Because that's some of the things. Some of us who are looking at it, just like say, okay, we have some little sympathy for Brazil. We expected the Neymar to hold on. But when you're a big star in the club, in a team, there's some more responsibility on you than trying to shy away from that responsibility. When you look at the ship is trying to go down, you are the one to make sure you ginger the team to carry the team up. You see how Messi pulled for, you know that at that going to that extra time, because that was the first extra time of the matches. Going to that rigorous match against Netherlands, the players were already down. People were even afraid to take the penalty. But Messi, as a leader of the team, take the bone of that to take the first kick. By taking the first kick, he opened the door.
Very well.
And that's some of the things you need to do. And Varane tried to do the same thing for the Netherlands. Unfortunately, he brought his team down. But when I saw Brazil, that the last kick was reserved for Neymar, I don't share that kind of move. Because before you get to the last kick, if you are not lucky, the match, everything has ended. The last kick is only reserved for reserve players who are not sure of themselves. But you, as a leader of the team, are supposed to come out to stand up, open the window, let people start. And that's what Messi have demonstrated against the Netherlands. Now against the Croatia, and if you look at the match against the Croatia, the semi-final against Croatia, Messi is the big factor. Yeah. Even the Croatian, I was ready to look at Modric and say that Messi is the fear one.
Very well.
That is the big, and that they have, we will have a lot to contest him
because this is someone who out of nothing can produce
because
something magical.
yes, because he has come to a level that he
Yeah,
needs
exactly.
to do everything extra.
Yeah,
It's not just
very
about the
well.
message, it's
Exactly.
to go to things, to GG the thing and mess
Exactly.
up. But one thing that I'm always feel about Messi is that when he's different, that when he came, God, Messi is a very good finisher and a very good shooter. But when he comes to when the Argentinas lose the ball, he don't contribute to fight for ball. As if they are not in position to contribute to fight for ball. And if the Croatians succeeded in eliminating him or trying to mark him out, that is where they're going to fight. They are not likely going to find trouble. But it's always difficult to completely mark
No, it's
Messi
different
out.
because if you remember, even in the Dutch game, it's not as if even before, don't forget that he created the pass from out of nothing. That pass came out of. In fact, it was such a beautiful pass that some of us kept wondering. This guy at this age is still producing this kind of football. So when you have those kind of players in your team, you know that out of nothing, as long as it's on the pitch, you always have to be on your toes.
No, both at the club level, Messi has oftentimes delivered
Exactly.
unexpected results. When you look at it, nothing is going to come out. Maybe he's trying to find something to get something. And knowing that this is most likely his last World Cup. Most likely, this is going to be his last World Cup. And now, more importantly, that except that people I said that Ronaldo may hurt him, but now Ronaldo is out, and him and Ronaldo are always on the opposite side trying to rival each other. Ronaldo now know that he's going to end his career without the World Cup, and he also wishes that. Well, I'm not saying that he wishes to. But if he'll be happy to see Messi also ending his own career without the World Cup, so that maybe that something they hurt Messi. But Messi now he have extra motivation. That one of his biggest rival in football is not going to achieve it, but they have opportunity to achieve it, and that he'll be driven by that more motivation.
No, I mean, like a lot of analysts have said, if Messi wins this World Cup, the GOAT debate is over forever, and it's as simple as that. Wale, for France, England. Over there in the UK, I can imagine I'm sure it was a night of maybe almost morning, for some of us, we actually, we're rooting for England kind of, but I've always been scared of France, especially, France is just a very, I don't know how to describe that team. It's a team who, I don't know, just know how to describe them, but in as much as I saw, England going toe-to-toe with them, but something inside of me had this feeling that France were going to defeat England in regulation time, which they did.
Yeah, definitely. Even before that game, I already knew that England was not going to win because if you look at the current, run, at the World Cup, they didn't actually played a very convincing team for me to show that they are very, very, organized and that they will actually go far in the tournament. They played the likes of Wales, US. No disrespect to those teams, Senegal, African champions, no doubt about it. There were not so teams that you could actually, expect them that will actually match up the pace of the Englands. But when the game started, I told a lot of people here in London that England was not going to win this game because I knew that despite the fact that they have crop young players in the team, which are very, very good in the English Premiership, but I still see that there are some things lacking in the English squad. The mentality for them to carry themselves to the World Cup is not still there. They still need to build up much experience. I know the likes of Harry Maguire cannot be relied on as a defender. Has not been in top shape for Manchester United. Also, the midfield is kind of still shaky. They were only good in the wings, and Harry Kane also doing the stuff in the midfield. But it was a very, very big day. Playing against the defending champion was not an easy feat. The likes of Anthony Griezmann, Mbappe, Oliver Giroud, getting that particular goal that powered the French team into the semi-final. I knew it was going to be a difficult game for the Three Lions of England. I hope Southgate get to keep this team. They can improve and try again in 26 right there in the US. But I definitely knew that England was not going to beat France. I know France had a very, very big names in that squad. I know they want to actually show class against the English team, and they did actually disappoint their fans and that particular day offer.
All right, quickly before we leave, quickly other stories where The National Sports Festival just ended during the weekend, and the president has saluted the government and people of the state for hosting the best national sports festival in recent times, as well as for the high standard facilities provided for the games. He gave the commendation during the 21st National Sports Festival uh, closed at the weekend, that's Delta 2022, where host and defending champion Team Delta emerged as overall winners of the competition with 649 medals comprising 320 gold, 200 silver, and 120 bronze, while Team Bielsa clinched second position. Team Edo finished actually third in the National Sports Festival. So with that, we have come to the end of today's episode of Sports Orbit. Don't forget, the World Cup resumes tomorrow with the semi-finals, and we'll be here on Sports Orbit to give you a preview of that match as it comes on. So we'll be resuming with our coverage of World Cup tomorrow. So Wale, thank you for joining us today, and hope you'll be joining us tomorrow as we preview the semi-final match.
Of course, I'll be joining tomorrow. Thank you for having me. Very good afternoon to you and to Salifu and everyone in the studio. And bye-bye for now.
Thank you.
All right, Salifu, thank you for being in the studio today.
Thank you so much.
All right, until we come your way tomorrow, do stay safe out there. My name is Afa Cho, and it's bye for now.
This is the story of a trophy for the world. A journey, a dream,